Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, depending on where in the world you are today. Welcome to Growth Habits with Ngozi. Remember that I am your personal guide on this journey of growth. So today, I'm so excited. We're starting a new series. We concluded the series on leadership the leading edge. And it was such an insightful series. We talked about a lot of things. But today we are diving into a whole new area. And this series we are going to do is born out of the fact that I see a lot of people. We're so busy. We're so committed. We're so into what we do. It doesn't even really matter what it is that we do. It's not, some people think it's only, sorry, I had to remove this, it's disturbing my leg. Some people think it's only, those that work that this relates to, but it is prevalent everywhere. So we are starting a series and we are talking about rest. There are different aspects of rest. Please let me just confirm that I can be heard because rest. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we're talking about rest in this series. Is going to be I think 5 or 6 part series, if I'm correct. 5 or 6 parts. And we're going to be talking about different aspects of rest. Welcome, Sarah Sanebi Briggs. Thank you for joining me this afternoon. I'm glad you're here. Welcome to Growth Habits. I don't know whether this is your first time. I can't remember if I've seen you join before, but if it's your first time, welcome to Growth Habits with Ngozi. I'm your personal guide on the journey of growth. Why do I say that I'm your personal guide? It's because I don't just lead you on the journey of growth. I don't just tell you about the principles of growth or how to grow and all those things. I truly go on the journey with you. As I am talking, I'm learning. As I'm teaching or speaking, I am learning. So I don't just go teach you about that. I go on the journey with you. And if for any reason, you take part in my one-on-one sessions, you will see that I go the journey with you. I don't know one thing that I have seen, well, it has worked for me, is that I don't just tell people do this. No. I first of all allow you to discover the path you want to go. I don't know many people that have had counseling sessions with me, they can testify. I will first ask you, what do you think? And from what you say, the next question will flow. And in all, you will not hear me say this is the best thing for you to do because I truly cannot know. That is what I believe. I truly cannot fully know what is the best thing for you, but you would know what is the best thing for you. So I guide you by prompting you here, there, telling you 1 or 2 things. I guide you and you come to the decision yourself. And what that does is that most times those decisions you arrive by yourself, you stick to. But the one someone tells you, you be like, okay, it's her idea or it's her decision or what have you. So that is why I say I'm your personal guide and that I don't just guide you, I don't just lead you. I actually go on the journey with you. So welcome once again to Growth Habits. I was introducing this new series that we are starting today. I told us that for a while we will be having conversations. That will be the overall what I call it theme, I guess, of all the things we're going to be doing for a while. And this time, the conversation will be on rest. Last time, the conversation was on leadership. And that leadership conversation has given birth to a lot of things that we'll be seeing over the coming months. So just watch out, as they say, watch this space. Some things will be released in this space that is basically around the area of leadership. Before I forget, if today by I think 5 p.m. Nigerian time, yeah, it's 5 p.m. Nigerian time, I will be talking on rest. Sorry, on leadership. I'll be talking on leadership on Coach Ife's platform. I'll be talking about stress and leadership, how the relationship, how you can navigate stress as a leader. So please join me on that discussion also today, this evening, 5 p.m. Nigerian time. I will have to look for Coach Ife's page and post it. I think she goes by Margaret Obon. I will look for it and put it in the comment section later on. So join me for that conversation also later today, 5 p.m. Nigerian time. All right, so we're starting this new series on rest. Rest. And I was saying that we find it difficult as people to rest. We do. We do, including me that is here. We are so busy, there's always something that needs to be get done. What did I say? There's always something that needs to get to be done. There's always something. There is always something. You can never not have something to do. Let me tell us the truth. And because of that, there's always one more thing to do. There's always I don't know if you have been in that situation. Maybe you need to go to bed. Okay, let me just do this one thing. Or, you wind up going on and on and on without rest. Without rest. But rest is important. And as we will find out in this process of this discussion, in this conversation, rest is not just about sleeping. It's not. We're going to discuss different aspects of rest. And I want to believe that by the time we are done, we would understand the rest better and we would be able to rest as people. So we're going to talk about physical rest, of course. We'll talk about spiritual rest. We'll talk about mental health rest. All these things are important. Emotional rest, social rest. All these things are important, and we are going to, as much as is possible, discuss all of them in this series. But today we're just going to do a general introduction by looking at the science of rest. Because, when you discuss things these days, if you're not able to tell people the science behind it, I found out that people listen when you tell them the science behind things. And I've also found that if we would even study the science of a lot of things, it will actually make the preaching of the gospel easier. I am telling you the truth. I am finding so many connections, which tells me that science is taken from, God, his ideas, things that he had proposed. Honestly, they will not accept. They won't agree. But generally, I find that things that God had proposed, had established, science takes from there and then goes maybe a step further. This rest we're talking about. The Bible tells us that on the seventh day, God rested. So God himself rested. He knew the importance of rest, and he went ahead and took the rest. So science has also gone further to study one or two things to tell us about rest and the benefits, because that is what I want to pass across to us. There is a benefit. There are benefits to rest, and we need to take advantage of those benefits. Agatha Obonna, thank you for joining me this afternoon. I'm so glad you're here. Please, once you just join me, let me know that you're here. Send me a greeting. Tell me where you're joining me from. Something so that I will know you're here. Because I've noticed that it's been like this for a while now. Before, once anyone joins the live, I can see and know that someone has joined. But I've started noticing that at times, Most times, not even at times. People will join, I won't see, I won't know. Even it will not show. There's usually this thing that looks like an eye at the top when you're going live. It doesn't even show. Yet people are there. Because by the time I finish and I look at the statistics, I will see that people were actually there. So please, once you join, let me know. Very, very important. So that at least I can welcome you if nothing else. All right. So rest. That is what we're talking about. What is rest? I found several definitions of rest, and I'm going to read the scientific definition after. But rest is just simply taking a break from activities, relaxing, recharging. That is the simple way to define rest. Taking a break from activity, doesn't matter what activity, but taking a break from activity, relaxing, and recharging. It's the recharging part I think that most of us miss in rest, because some of us try and attempt to rest, but in the process we're not recharging. So if you are resting, in quote, and in the process of that rest, if you're taking a break from activities, and in the process of that taking a break from activities, you are not recharging, you have not rested. You have not rested. So rest is simply taking a break from activities, relaxing, and recharging. Is you stop working, you stop moving, you stop thinking. That's the hard one. That is the hard one. Because when I say, okay, maybe I should refine that. When I say you stop thinking, it doesn't mean that you completely stop thinking, as in your brain is blank. No, but you don't think so hard. Yeah, you don't think so hard. You think, but is measured. So rest, taking a break from activity, relaxing, recharging. Is just stopping whatever it is you're doing. Stop walking, stop moving, stop thinking so hard. Give your brain a rest, give your body a rest. Remember that the aim of rest is to recover and to recharge. The aim of rest is to recover and recharge. So if you have rested, in quotes, and you come out not refreshed, not recharged, you have not truly rested. Why I say this, because even it happens to me sometimes. I sleep like for the night. And of course, when you're sleeping, you're supposed to be resting. You're not doing anything when you're sleeping. You've stopped working. You've stopped moving if you're sleeping. And generally, you have stopped thinking so hard. But you wake up the next morning, you're not refreshed. Then you truly did not rest. You truly did not rest. Something was missing from that rest. And that is what we are going to, these are the things we want to look at, so that when we rest, we have a full body rest. We are completely recharged. We are completely relaxed. And we are able to allow the body, see this human body, this body that God created, it has the ability to repair itself. It has the ability to recharge itself. It has the ability to make itself better. I don't know whether it has happened to you when you're just not feeling well. Something is just off in your body and you take a rest. True rest, you actually shut down. Do you notice that the body by itself just improves? So the body has the ability to repair itself, to recharge itself, to renew itself. But to do that, it needs to be in a state of rest. It needs to be in a state of rest. So rest is simply taking a break from activities, relaxing, recharging, not working, not moving, not thinking so hard, so that this body can recover and can be refreshed. Okay, so I'm going to read the scientific definition of rest. It's actually quite long, but I'm going to read it for us. I wrote it down. Scientifically, rest refers to the physiological and psychological processes that occur when the body and mind reduce activity levels. When the body and mind reduce activity levels. It involves a state of reduced metabolic and cognitive function. Metabolic is activity, cognitive reasoning. So it involves a state of reduced metabolic and cognitive function, which tells me that if you say you're resting and your brain is still going a mile a minute, you're truly not resting. Okay, which allows the body to repair tissues, restore energy, and the brain to consolidate memory, regulate emotions, and detoxify waste products. Do we see this definition? It involves, that is rest, scientifically speaking, rest involves a state of reduced metabolic and cognitive function, which allows the body to repair tissues, restore energy, and the brain to consolidate memory, regulate emotions, and detoxify waste products. Are you seeing the benefits of rest just from this definition? Just from this definition, we can see that rest is essential. It's essential. Okay, so rest can include sleep. See, it can include, so sleep is not the only way to rest. Rest can include sleep, but also encompasses periods of wakeful inactivity that promote relaxation and recovery of physical and mental resources. So sleep is not the only way to rest. Very important. Sleep is not the only way. There are many ways to rest. You can shut down your overactive brain and you would be in a state of rest. So that is the scientific definition of rest. And I've given us two definitions, the simple definition and the scientific definition of rest. And we can see that this tells us that rest is not just a state of inactivity, as in I'm sitting down, I'm resting. No, it's not just that. It goes beyond just I'm not moving. There has to be that both, yes, you're not moving, but you're also not overthinking. Yes, you're not thinking, you're not moving, you're allowing the body to refresh, you're allowing the brain. See, honestly, God created something when He created human beings. This brain that we have has capabilities that we have not even begun to look at. We have not even begun to explore. It has capabilities, but to function optimally, our brain needs rest. We need to take a break once in a while from too much mental activity. We need to take a break from too much thinking, too much, activities happening up there. Somebody I think is on Instagram. I saw that thing where it was a lady that she was a rant. It was a rant, I guess, but I guess it was just for content. I don't know. She was like she was talking to her husband and he, she asked him because he was just sitting there. I think they were in the car or something. I don't know. She was just sitting there, and the lady asked him, "What are you thinking?" The man looked at her and said nothing. And for her, that is strange. How do you stay and you're not thinking about anything? So she asked him, "You mean you are not thinking?" He said, "Absolutely nothing. I'm not thinking about anything." So she came to a rant that is not fair. It's not fair because how can this man just sit and not think about anything while her herself, her mind is going a mile a minute. She's thinking 1,001 things, even as she's sitting quietly with him there. So I sent this post to my brothers, my children, everybody back then in my family. And I asked, which one are you, the husband or the wife? And I found out a lot of people who are related to me, I'd like the wife. Even in a state of rest, their mind is moving a mile a minute. They are thinking of 1,001 things. And, everybody was now like, okay, what of you? And I told him I am the man. I am that man. I can sit and I'm not thinking about anything. It doesn't mean my brain is not working, but my brain is at rest at that point. I can truly shut off thought. It sounds strange to some people, but I can do it. I can sit here and zone out. You think I am thinking about something. I'm not thinking about anything. I'm just okay. I'm just calm. My mind is at rest. My body is at rest. So I am resting fully in every ramification of the word. My body is at rest. I'm sitting down. I'm not moving. My mind is at rest. I'm not thinking. And that is the time. So you see, I'm not sleeping now. I'm very much awake. I am not sleeping. But my body and my mind, they are resting. They're having the opportunity to renew. They're having the opportunity to refresh. We must learn to do this. If you are like the lady in that story I told, and even when your body is at rest, your mind is working a mile a minute, please try. It's doable. It's doable. It's hard, but it's doable to give your mind a rest, even as you're giving your body a rest. Okay, rest is important. I cannot even overemphasize this because when you're resting, I've said it how many times, you give both your body and your brain the opportunity to restore itself and repair itself. Some of the sicknesses we suffer, truly, some of the illnesses we suffer would disappear if we rest more. Scientifically proven, scientifically proven. This is not talk. This is not faith. Even though, like I said, a lot of these scientific things came from, what God had already told us. God had already told us to worry for nothing. Do not fret. Do not worry about anything. Just hand it over to Him. That is faith. That is Christianity. But science also tells you that you must have seasons, you must have times when your body and your brain is at rest so that they can restore and repair itself. We were built, this body was built to repair itself. This body was made to repair itself. We do not need medications a lot of times. It's because we have abused the body, we now need medication to right what we have wronged. But if we would just do the needful from the beginning and truly give the body time to repair itself, to restore itself, there are a lot of diseases that would disappear. And for example, this is science, in a time of rest, it said that muscle tissue regenerates. Think about that. Muscle tissue regenerates when you're resting. Immune functions strengthens. Things like the flu, things like catarrh, cold, things like COVID would not exist if, as people, human beings, we had worked on resting more. It says immune functions are strengthened when we rest. The body has the chance to renew itself. Our cells are rejuvenated. What is cancer? Is it not when cells begin to go crazy? So if the cells had the opportunity to rejuvenate themselves as they were made to, don't we think cancer would reduce? It would almost be non-existent. So, rest. Rest. Oh, I also discovered that human growth hormone is secreted during deep sleep stages. Human growth hormone is secreted during deep sleep stages. And what this human growth hormone does is that is what promotes the repair of cells. That is what promotes tissue growth and muscle recovery. Human growth hormone. And it is when you are in deep sleep, not when you're in this fitful sleep that your mind is still going a mile a minute. Okay, let me not say I was shocked because I know it has happened to me, but rarely in a situation where you're sleeping and you're still thinking. It has happened to me, but rarely. Generally, if I sleep, I've slept. But once in a while, I find that I'm sleeping, but my brain is working. Something, maybe a problem I was trying to solve before sleeping. While sleeping, I'm still trying to solve it. When you are in that state, that human growth hormone does not get secreted. It does not get secreted, which means the cells will not repair themselves, which means tissue will not grow, which means muscles will not recover. Andrew Giri, thank you for joining me this afternoon. I'm so glad that you're here. Do let me know where you're joining me from. So, do we see the harm we are doing to ourselves when we don't rest? Human growth hormone is secreted during deep sleep stages, not during fitful sleep. When you are in complete rest in the place of sleep, that is when this hormone is secreted. And this is the hormone responsible for repairing our cells, for tissues, and for muscle recovery. We are looking at the science of rest today. The science of rest. So that in case, we are not, when they're saying rest, 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 you're like, I beg, people don't understand what I have to do. You don't understand what is in front of me. You don't understand the amount of work I have to do. You can see that you will do that work better when you rest or after you have rested, because your body would have had the opportunity to repair itself. Okay, so of course, the first benefit of resting is that you restore and repair your physical body. A lot of the diseases we are struggling with would not exist because the body would have repaired, would have, done the needful by itself to combat such things. Okay, so the next thing that rest, one of the benefits of rest, I think I've mentioned this before, your immune system is more efficient when you rest. Science, like today I'm talking science. I'm trying not to talk maybe what I feel. Your immune system is more efficient when the body rests. When the body rests, your immune system is more efficient. Welcome, Kochifi, Margaret Obona. Welcome, Tega. Finally, you made it. Welcome. I'm glad you're joining me this afternoon. Even your heart benefits from when you rest. Even your heart, your cardiovascular system. Because when you rest, your blood pressure is lowered. Who would be suffering from high BP if you constantly allow your blood pressure to come down naturally by resting? You wouldn't have high BP. So all these cases of high blood pressure everywhere, they would disappear. Not the ones I've already started though, as per if we had rested from the beginning. Because in a time when you are resting, your blood pressure is reduced. And of course, this helps cardiovascular health. Your heart will be healthier. Your heart will be healthier. If you keep, for example, denying yourself sleep, denying yourself the opportunity to rest, definitely we hear people have stroke, we hear people have heart disease, we hear people have hypertension. It's because over time they did not rest. Even when they were sleeping, even while sleeping, they did not rest. Over time, this begins to have an effect on your cardiovascular system. So, rest. Rest. Remember, what was our definition of rest? What did we say? Excuse me. We said that rest is simply taking a break from activity to relax and to recharge. Taking a break from activity to relax and recharge. And we also said that it means stopping working, yes. It means stopping to move around, but it also means stopping to think too hard. Stopping all those things. That is what rest entails. Another benefit of resting, I think I mentioned this already, the brain detoxifies, gets rid of waste when you are in the state of rest. Scientifically proven by research that during deep sleep, that period of sleep that you are completely asleep, brain activity has reduced. Of course, physical activity has reduced. During that time of deep sleep, that the brain undergoes a cleaning process. The brain undergoes a cleaning process. Yes. And when this happens, it takes away toxins from the system. The brain, by itself, when you're resting, self cleans. And not only cleans itself, cleans the whole system, gets rid of wastes, gets rid of toxins from your system simply because you rested. Simply because you rested. And these waste products that the brain gets rid of when your body, your whole system is truly at rest, are linked to things like Alzheimer's when you have them in excess. So when the brain is not getting rid of these toxins, is not getting rid of these waste products, one of the side effects is that disease called Alzheimer's. You could have solved simply by truly resting. Full body rest. Full body rest. Spirit, soul, and body. Full body rest. Full body rest. Yes, yes. Taking a break from activities to relax and restore. It's not just to relax. It's not just to relax. It's to relax and for you to be recharge. I think that's the word I'm looking for. Yes. So it's not just to relax. If you're just taking a break from activities to relax and you're not recharging, something is still missing. So you have to both relax and recharge. So for the example I gave earlier, you're sleeping, so your body is resting, right? Your body has ceased from activities. You're lying down, so you're not moving. But your brain is still working a mile a minute. You're not resting. You're just sleeping. You're truly not resting because that activity that the brain does, that self-cleaning, is not happening. You have not rested. So it's not just to relax, it's also to relax and both of them recharge. Recharge, yes. Okay, another benefit of rest, of course, reduces stress when we rest. Goes without saying. When we rest, will reduce stress. This one is just goes without saying. Have you ever, maybe something is, there's one high in one issue, one troubling situation. Let me give us one example. So, one of the times, one of the places I was working, my boss gave me a document, very important document, highly confidential and important document. He gave it to me, and I was supposed to go over the document, and the next day we would discuss it. And he gave me the document, and I thought I put it in my drawer because, as at that time, I still had a lot of things that would distract me from giving full attention to that document, number one. Number two, I had people around, and this document didn't need to be seen by any other person except myself. So I put the document in my drawer. My plan was, as I'm going home, I would go with it. Truly, that was my plan. So that I would devote time to that document and be able to come up with what we're going to discuss. So I get carried away with activities of the day, or even if I had any spare time during the day, I would have brought out the document, but it didn't look like I would have the spare time. But anyway, I put it in my drawer and I went about doing what I had to do for the day. And at the close of work, as I was about to go, I remembered that, oh, this document, I need to go with it. And I opened my drawer and the document is not there. I ransacked my whole desk, everywhere. This document was nowhere to be found. I was in a state of confusion. I looked in my bag. I brought out my bag again. Maybe I've put it in the bag. It's not there. I brought out, as I know, when you bring out the drawer completely, poured out all the contents, went through each drawer, each paper, one by one. This document was nowhere to be found. I went to my car. So, okay, maybe during the day I just took it to the car. Who knows? Searched my car. This document was not there. It was nowhere to be found. So, what do? I was agitated. Oh, Abigail Latham, thank you for joining me this afternoon. You're welcome. I was agitated. I was stressed out because, one, this was a very, very confidential document given to me. Two, I am supposed to study something in this. I'm supposed to study it and then come and have a discussion with my MD the next day. And I couldn't find the document. I was agitated. My heartbeats increased. Everything, my body turned upside down. In fact, I became sick. I became sick because I could not find this document. As I was driving home, my mind was going a mile a minute, thinking, trying to figure out, because I had to go home. I can't stay in the office. They were waiting to shut down everything, turn off everything, because I was still in the office. I didn't want to go without finding this document. But I couldn't now raise an alarm and say I'm looking for something because of the nature of the document. So I just told myself, Ngozi, is one or two things. Is either you sleep here looking for this document or you go home. Worst comes to worst, tomorrow morning, you explain to your boss, they sack you, you go. I mean, and what else? So I got into my car. But even as I was in that car, my mind was a mile a minute. Where did you keep this document? What could have happened? I was thinking all the scenarios. Who and who came to my office? What did they do? How did they move? I was thinking and driving. Number one danger. I was driving distractedly. Anything could have happened. But thank God, nothing happened. And I managed to get myself home. And as I got home, I brought out my bag again. I began to search, looked, it's not there. Brought out my laptop bag. Maybe it's inside the laptop bag, separate from my handbag. I searched everywhere, I did not see this document. I was agitated. As I was in the kitchen preparing food, I was just, I don't think the food I cooked that day had no taste, zero taste, because I wasn't distracted. I was stressed. By the time I served my husband and served, if I even he saw that I was distracted, and he complained about the food, but honestly, that was the least of my worries. My problem was that you are about to lose your job, Ngozi. You are going to be sacked tomorrow because how do you explain that you lost such an important document? How? So, in this state of confusion, of course, I'm not coming up with any solution as I was having all this confused, agitated state. No, no solution came. Just before I went to bed, I just spoke to myself, calmed myself down first of all. I'm like, okay, take a deep breath. The world is not going to end. It has happened. It has happened. So I calmed myself down, number one. Two, I got ready for bed. Three, I prayed. I prayed specifically for this matter. I said, God, well, tomorrow they're going to sack me. Because, I mean, what other thing would they do if not to sack me? But if you can help me, help me. Holy Spirit, help me. If you can still show me where this document is, I would be so happy. Just help me. But I brought my whole, my blood pressure, my heart racing, I brought it down, calmed it down enough to sleep that night. And as I was sleeping, I dreamt. I dreamt that I was back in my office looking for this document. And as I was in that dream, I heard a voice tell me in that dream, check the second drawer to your left. There is a file. Told me something written on the file. I can't remember what that was now, but I knew there was something written on the file as what the file related to. Bring out that file. Leaf through the papers, you will see the document you're looking for. In the dream, I woke up in the morning and I discounted as the dream first because I had actually opened that folder looking for this document the day before. But, I've already calmed myself down, was no longer stressed about it. Whatever was going to happen, let it happen. If they are going to sack me, let them sack me. Whatever was going to happen, I was calm. My mind was at rest. I got to the office. As I just sat down, that dream flashed in my head again. So I opened that second drawer of my left. There is the file. I said, okay, the file is actually here. I brought out the file. I opened it. I began to leaf through one by one. And guess what? There was the document I was looking for. Now tell me, of course, prayer helped. I will never discountenance the place of prayer in this. But do you know that it would have been possible for me not to pray if I remained agitated? If my mind was still in that place of agitation, I wouldn't even know what to pray. I wouldn't even know what to pray right. I wouldn't be able to pray right if my mind had remained agitated. But I had calmed my mind down. I had begun the process of rest. And in that process of rest, I got the answer. So as I came in the morning, I opened it and I saw the document right there. Right there. Now, you know that if the day before I had not been so agitated, I may have seen it. It's possible. I would have saved myself a whole lot of drama, possibly. It's also possible that there was a divine intervention and the document came there from somewhere else. But the point I am making is that even if I hadn't rested, spirit, soul, and body at that point, I wouldn't even have been able to pray right. I wouldn't have known exactly what to ask God in the place of prayer. I would have just been talking OP. I don't know if it has ever happened to you. where you're praying and you self, you know you're talking out off point. Off point, you know it. And that is because you're praying from a place of anxiety, a place of agitation. So rest is essential. Rest is important. I've told us that it improves your brain's activities because in the place of rest, the brain detoxifies, the brain cleans itself, and the body gets rid of toxins from the body. When we are resting, truly resting, relaxing and recharging, it's not just the relaxing part. It's not just to prevent, you stop moving. You also stop overthinking. You slow down. Let me not say stop because it's almost impossible to stop your brain from thinking some thoughts. But you slow down activity in the brain, in the body, everywhere, and you truly rest. Your body repairs itself, and the brain detoxifies itself and the whole system. Scientifically proven. You can check it out. Yes, yes. Coach Ify says if you don't rest, it will take you longer doing some specific tasks for sure. When your mind, for example, is not at rest, you're not thinking efficiently. You're not thinking efficiently. But when you're in a place of rest, your mind is more efficient. So, rest. Rest. You can see how important it is for us to rest. Our brain detoxifies. Our immune system is boosted. Our heart, cardiovascular system is improved. Our health generally is improved when we rest. We reduce stress. When we rest, we reduce stress. We regulate our emotions when we rest. I've always thought this that when maybe you're in a situation of maybe having an argument or in a charged situation, take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. It doesn't take more than a second. And the benefit that comes from that 1 second taking of a deep breath, it is monumental. I don't know which other English word to use. When you just do first, you calm down almost instantly. It's almost an instantaneous calming down. And once you calm down like this, you can regulate your next action. You regulate your emotions. You're able to think clearer. You're able to take better decisions. So now you see that I did not sleep when I did. I did not sleep. This tells you that rest is not even about sleeping, really. It's not just about sleeping. That's taking a deep breath and calming down is a type of rest. Because you have brought down your thinking faculties, you have slowed it. Even your cardiovascular system, you have slowed it. Your respiratory system, you have slowed it. You have calmed down a lot of things in your body and you're able to manage your emotions and you're able to react better. My original coach is here. My original fitness coach is here. Welcome. I'm so glad you joined me this afternoon. I'm glad you're here. So, we can see the benefits. Abigail, praying from the place of anxiety will only intensify your worry. Yes. It doesn't help you. I don't know. I don't even know which other words to use. When you are anxious and you're praying, you don't even pray right. You don't even say the right things. Even when God is trying to pass some information to you, let me say this to us. When he's trying to maybe give you a solution to what you are praying for, because you're agitated, because you're anxious, you will not even hear well. So rest is essential, please. It is so important. It is so important in every ramification of it. Okay, so it helps us regulate our emotions, it helps us reduce stress, it helps our mental state, it helps our spiritual state, it helps our physical state as per our body. We get to regulate the functions or the functionings of our body. Resting also helps you be more creative, helps you solve problems better. Goes without saying. Because your emotions are calm, you have them under control, your body is at rest, everything, you definitely will solve problems better. You come up with solutions that work when you rest. When you rest, you will live longer. Diseases will fly out. I told us there are many diseases that we would not be suffering from if we rested more. Because in the state of rest, the body restores itself. The cells repair themselves. And if our cells are repairing and renewing themselves, which sickness would remain really? Sickness, disease is that your system is in a state of unease. Disease. So rest impacts on our overall health, on our longevity, so many things. And remember that sleep is just an aspect of rest. Sleep is just an aspect of it. So ensure you sleep. It's very, very important that we sleep. Don't take sleep for granted. And I mean sleep. Sleep where your brain is not active or overactive. Let me not say active. Where your brain is not overactive. Very essential. And scientifically, I see that when you sleep while in the rapid eye movement stages, when you sleep in that stage, it is essential for memory consolidation, mood regulation, and cognitive processing. That state of, I don't even know how to describe this, Sha, but definitely it restores. There are different stages of sleep. We need to actually experience all if possible. But when we truly sleep and rest, everything, the whole body just improves itself. We would have less need to go and see the doctor. Yes, Kochifi says it's good to rest without disturbance. If you can sleep, people like me, I can sleep with TV on. Funny enough, I don't even know how I do it. I can sleep and the television is on and I don't hear the television. But as much as possible, when you're about to sleep, turn off everything. Everything. Turn off the television, put your cell phone far away from you, remove everything that could be a disturbance and just sleep. I guess I learned how to sleep with TV on because sometimes I want to sleep and maybe my husband is still awake, so he's watching something. But it's not the best. It's best when you want to sleep, take away every distraction, phone, television, what have you, and properly shut down and sleep so that you give the body the opportunity to restore itself, to heal itself. The body is made with that. That is how we are created. The body is created to renew itself. It's created to restore itself. So let's give it the opportunity. And it only does that when you're in a state of rest. When you're active, moving throughout the day, the body does not restore. It does not replace the things that are being used up. It's when you are resting. then the body goes to work and begins to do what is needed. So I think I've come to the end of this introductory session. Maybe I'm a little sleep deprived. I've come to the end of this introductory session on sleep, looking at the science of rest. Sorry, not sleep, rest. Looking at the science of rest. Rest is good for your overall physical, mental state. And remember, rest is not just about sleep. It's not just about sleep. It's essential you sleep because, sleep is a more prolonged and sustained period of rest. It's essential you sleep. Usually when people talk, let me just say this about sleep. When people talk about sleep and they say, oh, get 8 hours of sleep, oh, get 6 hours of sleep, I am not too fixated on the hours of sleep you get. It's the quality of the sleep. Because you can sleep 8, almost said useless now, but it's not useless. You can get 8 non-qualitative hours of sleep. You can do that. You sleep for 8 hours and it didn't do your body any good because you will still wake up tired. So ensure that in sleeping, when you sleep, you truly shut down before you sleep. So that sleep will be a time for the body to repair itself, for the brain to detoxify and get rid of toxins, and for the cells to begin to repair. Do the repair work. Rest is good though, and is important for every aspect of our lives. And with that, as I said, we come to the conclusion of this introductory session on the science of rest. We will continue next week by looking at some types of rest. Remember, I told us at the beginning that we have physical rest, mental rest, emotional rest, spiritual rest, and such, social rest, and all that. And we will try and look at some of those types of rest and maybe some of their impact on our lives, on our well-being. Okay, so thank you for joining me this afternoon. Thank you everyone that joined. I hope we all learned something. At least, if nothing else, we learned that rest is important. And we learned that rest is not just for you to relax, it's for you to relax and recharge. Both elements are very important for you to get a full and complete rest. Also, remember that this evening by 5 p.m. Nigerian time, I will be on Coach Ife's platform talking about stress in leadership. Please join us there. Coach Ife, you can put the link to your page on the comment so that people can see it. Yes, I think 5 p.m. Nigerian time, I'm right. I hope you, thank you, Tega, you're more enlightened. Please don't just be enlightened, practice. Practice. This is one thing I insist on. It's not that, oh, thank you, I've learned. Practice what you have learned. That is how we grow. That is how we grow. We grow by putting into practice the things that we are learning. Balanced Living Consulting. Yes, that's Coach Ife's platform. Please join me there, 5 p.m. today, 5 p.m. Nigerian time. We'll be talking about stress and leadership. This is, we talked about leadership so much in our last session. So please join me there. And don't forget, yes, 5 p.m. Nigerian time. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media handles. If you're here today and you have not followed us on YouTube, run there and go and subscribe. Run to that YouTube. The link should be showing as I started this live. Run there, subscribe. Tell your friends, let them subscribe. We're on YouTube, Growth Habits with Ngozi. We're on Instagram, Growth Habits with Ngozi. We're on TikTok, Growth Habits with Ngozi. We are here on Facebook. We have a Facebook page. We have a Facebook group, Growth Habits with Ngozi. Okay, thank you, Tega, for promising to practice. I will follow you up, you know. I will follow you up to ensure that you're practicing. Thank you all so much for joining me this afternoon. It's been an interesting time discussing the science of rest. See you all next week, Tuesday. Yeah, yes. I'll be here next week, Tuesday. It's the upper Tuesday. I might not be available. Not yet sure, but see you all next week, Tuesday, right here on Growth Habits with Ngozi. 12 noon is the time. Facebook is the location. Thank you all so much for joining me. See you all next week. Remember to make today and every day count. Be valuable and ensure that you are growing. Have an awesome day. Bye.